Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
If you're a NAIT student, have you been checked for a vaccine record? You may be.
Health and safety are top priority. And students, staff, visitors, anyone coming to campus, we really want to make sure that we're doing all that we can to keep people safe when they're on campus.
A record-breaking Edmonton election.
The diversity that we've seen reflected in the outcome demonstrates that the progressive voting bloc is very strong in Edmonton.
And the kit that's free to get and could save a life.
It works almost miraculously to reverse an opioid overdose.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. November 8th is coming around, which means that people coming to NAIT's campus will need to get their second COVID vaccine dose before October 25th.
The protocols have evolved in line with provincial regulations outlined earlier this month. Our Marco Madron joins us live from our news center. Now, Marco, will a negative result from a rapid test be enough if you haven't received both doses?
Unfortunately, Stephanie, no, it won't. Negative rapid test results will not be a replacement for vaccinations. The only case where they could would be if an accommodation has been set up beforehand. Otherwise, you still have to get that information into the NAIT Alert app, as campus security has already been beginning to check if people are complying. Campus security has been setting up check stops at entrances around NAIT's campus. People have to show that they're approved through the NAIT Alert app as well as photo ID, and security has found that these checks have been going quite well.
So far it's been really fantastic. I think the NAIT community has really stepped up and they're really willing to work with us and be cooperative when we're asking for that green QR code so they can demonstrate that they can be on campus.
But these check stops are only in certain locations at certain times, so you may or may not have seen them quite yet.
I've never seen campus security at NAIT checking passports or anything.
I was coming back to my building at lunch one day and there was security guards there.
I've not seen security doing the checkpoints.
So while entrances like these don't have any security guards present, that doesn't mean NAIT security isn't checking for proof of vaccination. They pick their locations based off of busyness, time of day, and the metrics that they get back, which tell them how many people they ran through and the compliance rate. But what about those who don't provide their information on time?
As of November 8th, students will have to be withdrawn if they can't prove double vaccination and full vaccination status, which you reach at 2 weeks past your second dose, or an approved accommodation.
According to NAIT's data, as of October 19th, almost 11,000 uploads have been made to the NAIT Alert app. 84% of those for full vaccination and 9% for partial vaccination.
So if a student has been withdrawn from their program for not meeting these requirements, is there any way for them to get back into their program?
So let's say the said student had completed at least one term in their program. They could request for a readmission. Now this request would have to go through the program chair and is subject to the availability of seats. However, if they haven't done that, then they have to reapply into their program once again.
Marco, what if a student's classes are completely online?
Luckily for those who are on entirely online classes, they don't have to provide that proof of vaccination.
Thanks, Marco. That's Marco Madron reporting live from our news center tonight.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
The votes are in, and Edmonton has a new mayor and new councillors serving the city. And this is a city hall unlike any before it. Early in the evening of election night, we started to see results, and there are two firsts on this new city council. Amarjeet Sohi as the first mayor-elect of color, and a total of 8 female councillors elected or re-elected, outnumbering the men for the first time ever.
It's a remarkable outcome in terms of the diversity of the winning candidates. So we have a gender breakthrough for women here. We have a BIPOC, a BIPOC mayor.
So he and the rest of the candidates have now officially taken office as of this Tuesday.
While general Edmonton crime has been on a downward slope, recently one neighborhood has an increase in severe crime. Downtown has gone in the opposite direction. It's seen a big increase, especially in severe crime, which is up 18%, with over 58 assaults in the last 30 days. This has some downtown residents worried about their safety.
I've always lived rurally in my lifetime, so not only just being in a city, but being straight downtown, the crime's definitely a worry for me and just the safety.
Edmonton Police Service has said that the Edmonton Division of Downtown has seen an especially big increase in vehicle theft and severe crimes in the downtown core.
Opioids are having a brutal toll across the country and in our city. Staff in a Boyle Street pharmacy are urging people to do their part to combat downtown's opioid crisis.
If you have one on you, like, you could literally save somebody's life.
So-called miracle drug naloxone is available at most pharmacies in the city and from Protective Services at NAIT. Naloxone is used to stop overdoses of opioids like heroin, fentanyl, and oxycodone. Opioid users in the area have a high tolerance and the drug supply is potent, so the demand for the kits is high.
People are coming in and out for like naloxone kits. We have them at the front and we just have them free to like grab. Like, you don't even have to ask. Some people just come in, grab a bunch. Some people like dump the whole bin into their bag to just like take like 6.
The kit is free to anyone, no questions asked. Pharmacy staff will walk people through how to use the supplies in the kit and how to recognize that naloxone is needed. 3 Albertans died every day in 2020 from opioid overdoses, and so far 2021 has been even more deadly.
It's no secret that the airline industry has had struggles over the course of the pandemic. Despite this, expanded service is coming to Edmonton's airport this spring. These sparsely populated hallways may soon be full of people again when ultra-low-cost airline Flair opens their new base in Edmonton. This means that more cheap flights will be available to travelers looking to visit cities like Nashville and San Francisco. Flair Airlines CEO said in a press release that these cheap flights to popular travel destinations will hopefully help kickstart the crumbling airline and travel industries. The target consumer for these flights is the weekend getaway crowd. Those looking to book their trip to these new destinations can do so starting in the new year.
Coming up after the break, an Edmonton chef is making a breakfast food for dessert.
Taking waffles and donuts and mixing the two together, it's something that will make you say, whoa.
I think people mostly like them, and we've had pretty good response to them, I would say.
Tonight on sports, the women's basketball team is off to a hot start. Plus, the men's and women's teams in soccer are both headed to the postseason. And later, we'll check out how the Oil Kings plan to battle the Wheat Kings and their new acquisition in Luke Prokop.
Coming up on weather, the unseasonably warm fall is coming to an end, and we're in for a bit of a surprise.
Well, it's been an absolutely lovely week of weather so far, hasn't it?
It sure has, but it has the chance to change. With more on that, our Blake Fisher.
Thanks, guys. It's been an unseasonably warm fall, and we have a deep area of low pressure that's swung in through from the southwest to thank for that. Unfortunately, now that the air is passing, we're going to hit that deep area, and it's going to drop our temperature a bit and bring with it clouds and a fair amount of rain and flurries. Not great. Calgary does dodge the worst of this with mainly the rain and the flurries. They'll have a high of 10 and a low of 2. Moving on to Jasper, we've got mostly cloudy, a low of 1 and an afternoon high of 10. Over in Fort McMurray, it's cloudy again. There's a 60% chance of showers or flurries. If it does snow, it's not going to stay on the ground very long. Should melt away because it is going to be mixed up with rain. And here at home, we are cloudy. We are going to see rain tomorrow, unfortunately. It could even be some flurries. Good idea around now to actually change your tires over to your winter tires, just because we're going to settle in around 7-8 degrees next week. We've got a low of 1 and a high of 8 here. Our average high is 10, our average low 0, and our record high is 24 in 1903. I wish. And our record low is minus 19 in 1887. That's everything for weather. Thanks so much, guys.
NewsWatch weather sponsored by NR92 Campus Radio.
Thomas, have you ever thought about what would happen if you crossed a waffle with a donut?
I can't say I have, but it sounds absolutely delicious.
Well, one Edmonton chef has put this idea to the test. They're called wonuts, and they're the perfect cross between a fluffy waffle and a fried donut. Until recently, the treats could only be found in a few farmers markets around the city, but after a year of building popularity, they finally have a shop to call home.
I just really wanted a place that I could be all the time. From having a food truck before, I found it really frustrating. People were always looking for me and having to like follow me around and find me at these obscure markets and things. But it's just really nice to be in one spot. And just my friends ask, "Where are you?" And I'd be like, "I'm here. I'm always here."
The shop is located just off of White Avenue and is open Tuesday through Sunday. From a great start to a terrific finish to the season, NAIT Athletics have a lot to be excited about.
That's right. And the NAIT soccer teams are headed to playoffs. With more on that, here's our Brandon Demery.
Thank you. NAIT's women and men's soccer teams are headed to the postseason. Having a strong season behind them, both teams are confident and have a winning mindset going into the weekend. The women's team finished their regular season campaign with a 4-1-1 record, while the men's team finished with a 5-0-1 record. Both teams are looking to bring their momentum into the playoffs with a chance at gold.
I mean, the game plan is to win, of course. It's been the game plan the whole season, so I think we can make out the win come Saturday, so yeah.
Game plan, win, honestly. It's high press, quick passes, lots of shots, score quickly, put them away early.
Both teams are confident in their game and are ready for the big stage. NAIT's women's basketball team continue their hot start to the season. The women's team looks to improve their 3-0 record against the King's University this weekend. NAIT had an impressive 93-63 win last time out. The Ooks are using their speed to their advantage.
Well, we're a fast team. That's definitely number one, is we're fast and we play a fast-paced game. So a lot of our successes come from just being able to press teams and run, and yeah, that's probably our number one.
The Ooks are looking to expose King's zone defense with an infusion of young talent and are looking to outrun and outplay King's University. The Edmonton Oil Kings look to get back on track against the Brandon Wheat Kings Friday night after dropping a close one-goal game to the Red Deer Rebels on Sunday. Scoring has been a point of concern so far this season, and the Oil Kings expect a hard-hitting affair with the Wheat Kings Friday.
They're a team that had 8 or 9 guys in NHL training camps. So again, it's going to be whenever you play them, it's always a fast-paced, hard-hitting, physical style game.
The Brandon Wheat Kings have allowed the most goals against so far this season in the WHL. The Oil Kings currently lead the Central Division with 9 points. On October 13th, the Oil Kings acquired Luke Prokop for a bundle of players and picks, and he has fit in seamlessly. With 2 goals in the first 2 games with the Oil Kings, the 6'5", 220-pound defenseman has passed his goal total from the previous season.
An easy team to play for. The systems they use are quite similar, and just an easy team to play with. And lucky enough to pot one in the first, and then just play my game the rest of the game, and then got lucky again in the third period there.
Prokop will look to continue his strong play this weekend when Edmonton faces Brandon and Medicine Hat on the back-to-back. A lot of action this Friday and Saturday. It's an exciting time to be around NAIT Sports.
So, did the women's basketball team just acquire a player of their own?
Yes, as of this week, Rory Vandermeer is the newest member of the Ooks.
Now, in regards to fans in the stands, has that changed at all?
As of right now, there are still no fans permitted in the stands, but there is a petition going around to change that. Thanks, guys.
Coming up after the break, certain factors can put up barriers for homeless people.
We'll see how the Chew Project provides for the community.
They laugh a lot around here, which is great. We cry, you know, it's got this really neat vibe, and we just hear a lot of this is where they feel safe.
Coming up in entertainment. Some spooky events, a play at the Citadel, and an event so corny it's closing this weekend. Only on NAIT NewsWatch. Stick around.
Apparel for NewsWatch provided by TLA Development.
It is hard enough to live on the streets in Edmonton, but certain factors can make it even worse.
Two-spirit, non-binary, trans, and queer people can have a harder time finding a safe space to rest, and that's where the Chew Project comes in. Laughter fills the room and artwork fills the walls here at the Outpost. It's a place for queer young people living rough to sleep, eat, shower, do laundry, relax, and get off the street. Director Corey Wyness is known as Gay Yoda to the 20 or so teens that come here on a regular basis.
They laugh a lot around here, which is great. We cry, you know, it's got this really neat vibe, and we just hear a lot of this is where they feel safe.
You know what? We should do some of Corey's makeup as a film.
I like what you think, but
The project's funding was cut in March 2020, and they're always open for donations of cash, food, and clothing. The details are on their website, chewprojectyeg.org.
You know, Stephanie, I love going to the theater. But with the weekend ahead of us, it's hard to know which play to go to.
Exactly, which is why we have Rue Baker here to tell us about a play about Edmonton, along with what else is coming up in entertainment.
Thanks, guys. If you thought this has been an exciting week for entertainment, wait until you hear what's up for next week. You will be excited to know that the Citadel's production of Bears opened yesterday and will run until the 31st.
The first time his mom had taken him, the fish had been jumping like the water was boiling.
Bears is a story about a Métis man in Edmonton who is on the run from the RCMP. As he escapes to Burnaby, he encounters different wildlife and evolves as a person.
I think the favorite part of it is that it's about Alberta. It's for Albertans. And we just don't have a ton of plays that are like that, because it's a story about here, by people from here. It's not fluff, it's about something. Sometimes people want to just sort of bury their heads in the sand and just continue as we've been continuing for years. And the problem there is that then we're going to just let other people make decisions for us. We're taking the power out of our hands. And I think that it's really important for me and the team that we're telling a story, our own story, and that someone else isn't telling the story. And so I really am proud of the work that we've done.
Tickets can be found on their website at citadeltheatre.com/shows/bears. Some people think the Edmonton Corn Maze is all corn all the time, but it is so much more. While the maze is the main attraction, there is also a zoo, train, bouncy pillow, and fun little extras sprinkled around that makes coming up to Spruce Grove worth your time.
Well, it's a really exciting event for, kids and families to come here and enjoy and have fun. It's like a whole day event, so it's special for Edmontonians like myself. So, yeah.
My favorite part was the goats and all the cows and all the pretty animals. I also like the jumping pillow. And the corn maze was, fun. It's just so much fun.
The Corn Maze closes this weekend, and the last day to attend is October 24th. Looking to get spooked while learning about the history of Edmonton?
Where the strangest things do happen.
The Edmonton Ghost Tours takes you through the city's most haunted locations, including Old Strathcona, U of A cemetery, and a haunted trolley.
Well, it's a fun event for the entire family. I mean, who doesn't love a good ghost story? Who doesn't learn about history and getting out to see the back alleyways of Old Strathcona? So it's a great way to learn about the city, learn about our history, and learn about some of the good ghosts, hauntings, murders, and mysteries.
Tickets are $12, and you can check out their website at edmontonghosttours.com for dates. When you hear about this book, you might want to stop by your local bookstore on your way home. COVID Collections is a collaborative project involving different queer, BIPOC, and disabled artists and poets of Edmonton about their experiences in the pandemic emotionally.
For me, it was definitely the connection with people.
creating, just like talking to people and getting to know how they were doing and how they were feeling and how they were being affected, and seeing the similarities and differences between different people depending on their career or their family or where they were when the pandemic hit. Like it's just so different. And then getting to look at the different artworks that people were creating during the pandemic, that was also really interesting.
I find it to be very surreal. Like, I feel that in, say, like a fine arts environment, like in an art gallery, oftentimes there's like, even if there is like the people aren't, there's like this air of almost like pretentiousness that accompanies it. And so people approach you and your artwork in a particular way. If there's someone who maybe isn't comfortable with, say, like the terminology that's used in those other spaces, they might not want to talk about it or approach you.
You can pick up your copy of COVID Collections at your local bookstore. As theater geeks, I know we will all be at the Citadel this weekend, but I'm curious to know what other events you two will be attending.
You know, I really like the look of the ghost tours. I might have to take my girlfriend to that this weekend.
The Coors Maze looks like a lot of fun. I think I'll also stop by the bookstore on my way home, though.
Agreed. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching this week's edition of NAIT NewsWatch. We're so glad you decided to spend your evening with us.
You can watch more of our shows on our YouTube channel, NAIT NewsWatch, or on naitnewswatch.ca. I'm Thomas Wildman.
And I'm Stephanie Swensrud. Good night.